Welcome back to viewers. Those are humor cartoons today. Something about really you have to find that moments in your day that really puts a smile on your face, whether something's big or something small, whether you have a friend or colleague that really makes you laugh. So it's really can really appreciate the everyday happiness because every day is a gift. And moving on, we'd like to welcome back to our studio here live, Mr. Anwar Al-Nakhli, who is the business development manager. We're discussing about our weekly segment, self-development and how to deal with stress. It's something that unfortunately is affecting everyone in everyday life, from everyday aspect of everyday life, I will say.
And I'm not sure if you're under stress now or not.
No, today I'm really happy, just enjoying life. So, Assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah, good morning.
Mr. Anwar, stress is something that unfortunately many people try to avoid. Many people try to deal with it, but it seems to be that how you deal with it it depends on different type of person. So how can we define stress first of all?
Okay. I think stress is meant to be a temporary period in our life. That's how it should be actually. We should not take it as something permanent in our life. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So stress, it's a pressure. It's a pressure in life that we are facing in life. And in fact, some of the stress I would consider it's a good stress. For example, graduating from school, that's considered as it's a good stress.
There is a stress that would motivate you to
exactly,
do that.
Yes.
But there is a stress that would let you down.
Absolutely. And it let you down actually. And some stress, actually it will motivate you, as we're saying, and it's a positive, I would.
So they will say it's like some people work better under stress.
Absolutely, yes.
But I feel like this is kind of like ironic because sometimes stress, you overanalyze things, you overthink about it, you start doubting yourself, and you cannot have the clear-minded.
Exactly.
So how can people justify whether it's good stress or bad stress?
Yeah, and just to go back in the previous point, it's this stress that it will stop our mind. So it will affect our
behavior.
Of course behavior. It will affect even our I would say that it will affect our body, our health. So depends if we could consider that's how can I define a good stress and a bad stress. That's how we will take it. I think that's.
I see.
Yeah, some of the issues and the medical issues would be caused by stress.
It's
the main cause.
It is some of it.
Along with other
things. It causes, yes.
But Mr. Anwar, let me ask you about after having a stress or during this, you are stressed and fully stressful. Is it negative for some of the side effects? We mentioned the positive side. How to take advantage of the stress?
Okay, well, there is a lots of steps, or there is a lots of things that I can do to avoid steps, if we say it in the other way. First, if I have to define that I'm under stress, then I could say that if this stress is really bad or is good, then I have defined it. So from that point, I could say that if it's a good stress, there is lots of if it's a bad stress, there is lots of ways and lots of practices where if I take it, then I will get relief of this stress.
And Mr. Anwar, stress has many side effects. Unfortunately, some of them is bad side effects, whether it's not having ability to sleep well, not thinking straight, you overanalyze things, you kind of sometimes become short-tempered, and one of the most common ones is about gaining weight or eating. Can you tell us more about what are the side effects and how to deal with it?
Yeah. Well, we cannot eliminate stress from our life. That's a fact. We cannot eliminate it. But how do we? What is the side effect that we can see it in our behavior? In our behavior with people, in our behavior with ourselves even. So there is, I think, mainly there is two side effects. It will affect our mental, our mind, and there is a physical effect which will affect our body, of course. Non-sleeping well and all this, being under stressful. So that's all. Where I could see it, it's the most two major reasons or the side effect.
So stress could be good to a certain level, then it would be totally the opposite.
Absolutely.
It would be against you. But relieving the stress is the main issue.
And that's the main, actually that's the main issues, and that's the bottom of it.
Yeah, talking about some of the spiritual practices from religious side, and also from like social side, changing the habits,
We became
change the
unsocial.
relatives. Talking about changing the places that you used to be at, or the people you used to sit with. Also traveling. So we're talking about many options, but why do people fail to do that? And sometimes they don't have enough knowledge.
No, I don't think so. It's about knowledge. It's about, I don't know, it's a phobia, maybe. Some people do have phobia. For example, if you look at flight, some people, it could be a phobia, but some people, I have seen that during the flight, they will be stressed out. They will be really stressed out during the flights. So I think it's the nature, I believe. It's the nature of the human being in stress. But how you control it, that's the most important thing, how you would control it.
Indeed, Mr. Anwar, is something about people say it's like when the reasons become stress because something of the fear of the unknown. People do not really know what's going to happen,
exactly.
So they start worrying about it. So
absolutely,
people flying, they get words, I don't know what's going to happen. It's like something that they hear about stories, or going to a job, going to an unexpected meeting. It feels like, you know, many people overreact for something that's little. I used to do this because I used to think, I was like, why is it that I'm not sure what's going on? So it's kind of become more stressful. But I felt like different people have different ways of coping with it. What are some of the best ways? This is like, do not overanalyze things, do not think about it. You cannot jump to conclusions. Just wait till it happens and then understand it.
Yes. That's the main thing actually. Just don't overcome. Do not overcome your thoughts. Just, I mean, relax.
It's out of your hand.
Overthinking something.
Exactly, it is overthinking.
And the first kind of stress that people usually face in young age, for the students, talking about the exams time.
Yes, the exams.
This is the topic that we...
which I think it's a good stress, I believe. At the end you're getting a result, but the bad stress, you're not getting anything. You're just becoming overstressed.
Indeed. It would be totally the opposite. It would be very negative. But Mr. Anwar, allow us, we'll go for a report. Our dear viewers, it's a quick report, and we'll be back to you to resume our discussion. Stay tuned.
Stress. It's a term we hear being used almost every day. But line managers need to recognize when an individual is stressed. You need to be aware of the signs and signals of stress and need to act on them. You also need to be aware of how to prevent stress from occurring in the first place. Did you know employers have a legal duty to ensure the health, safety and welfare of their employees as far as reasonably practicable? Even if an employee has not raised concerns, the line manager should be alert to the possibility of stress. Hang on a minute, what is stress? Stress is a physical and mental response that we all have to situations that we find stimulating or demanding. These situations are sometimes unpleasant, such as illness or financial difficulties, changes in lifestyle, job or environment, but equally positive experiences like going on holiday or getting a promotion can also be stressful. So what are the signs of stress? The key is to notice a change in an individual's behavior. Equally, you may notice the signs of stress in a team with things like disputes and disaffection within the group, increase in staff turnover, increase in complaints and grievances, increased sickness absence, increased reporting of stress, difficulty in attracting new staff, poor performance, customer dissatisfaction or complaints. So how do we deal with stress? Prevention is better than cure, so we should take steps to avoid stress occurring. Keep in touch with your colleagues and be aware of potential individuals' stressors and your various teams' stressors. An early word with an individual can help a lot. Problems may or may not be work-related. Either way, they may affect performance at work, and appropriate support needs to be provided. Managers aren't expected to know everything, so you can always ask for guidance. Not knowing something but seeking advice is fine. Turning a blind eye isn't. So, as a manager, you may be thinking, where do I go next? Don't worry, the university can help. For really detailed guidance to support you in recognizing, preventing and dealing with stress in both individuals and teams, go to
Welcome back, dear viewers. That was a short report about how to deal with stress. It's something that, you know, every day, every type of person will deal with it, whether it's young, adults, or even parents, teachers, or anyone in general. So this is some of the techniques we'd like to go ahead and share with you about how to deal with stress. And some of them is about meditation, breathe deeply, take deep breaths, slow deep breaths, be present, you know, focus clearly, and reach out to people. It's like when I was talking with Mr. Anwar about one of your colleague about it, we'll get to that shortly, and tune into your body. This is some of the examples or techniques I will say to really deal with stress. And going back to Mr. Anwar, you were mentioning about something like people overanalyze. People take things as something so little, they take it to something that's big. And I believe that you have a story, an example for that.
I was mentioning that I had a friend of mine actually. I saw him in someday that he was really depressed and he was completely stressed out. So I thought that something wrong happened to his family or something. Then I was asking him, so he was like, well, I'm stressed out and I'm going to resign from his work. So I was like, why? So he's like, because I don't know how to use Excel. I'm doing my calculation in a manual way, which is using the calculator. So I was like, my friend, it's easy. You don't have to be stressed out. You don't have to be depressed. Sure. This is the tools. This is the way how you use Excel. Just use it. Put your numbers, put your figures, and it will calculate it automatically.
He's making it a big deal.
He's making it a big deal up to a point that where I thought somebody passed away from his family actually.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
unfortunately,
really,
this is the case.
Unfortunately, that's the case.
Some people.
Yeah, there is things which is the people, they just overreacted, I think.
But stress is sometimes related to some of the major events in our lives and the good moments. Talking about, for example, graduating, winning in a competition.
Yeah.
You are under stress until they announce the result.
The result, yes.
Waiting for the result for the high school or university.
But you're waiting for something.
Always under stress. Even marriage. The night of
that's a big one. That's a big one.
So usually stress and then the relief after it is a good moment.
It's a good moment, exactly. Because why? Because you get the results. That's whether you were expecting it or not. You achieved, yeah. It's about achievement.
I feel like sometimes it comes to a point where, you know, people, when they realize how stupid it is, but when they were stressing out about it, and they think to themselves, it's like, why was I being stressed
exactly.
about? It's something that's so minimal.
It's like trying something, skydiving or something.
Skydiving, first of all, I'm not going to try that. That's something I'm really
that's a phobia thing, I believe.
I feel like it's more than stress.
But after doing it, you will say, oh, it was easy, and I made it a big deal. And this is always
it's experimental that you have been to.
I think it's just about the state of mind. It's like, how do you perceive it as? And you definitely should always try to be on the light-headed. Sometimes the advice you give to other people, you need to listen to yourself.
And sometimes you don't do it, actually.
Mr. Anwar, thank you so much for joining us today. It was an absolute pleasure. Any last word of advice you'd like to tell our dear viewers?
Well, I would say that stay away from people who stress you out. And please say no. Know your limits. Because sometimes if you go over your limits, then you will be stressed out. So
indeed.
Stay away from people who stress you out. Say no, please. Know your limits. And the most important, enjoy your life. Relax. Do things that you really enjoy. I think that's will relieve your stress.
So something you should definitely keep in mind about it. Some of the good advice, especially from Mr. Anwar Al-Nakhli, who is a business development manager. And today's discussion is our weekly segment, self-development, how to deal with stress. Go ahead, know your limitation, understand what to do in a stressful environment or stressful situation. And sometimes do not overthink it. Sometimes it's something that you may think it's big. Go ahead and reach out. Ask for advice. Someone tell you like, no, this is simpler than you think. So it's something you can really do a whole lot of difference, and definitely you can see a difference in your life. At the moment, we'll be taking a short report about do yourself decor. We'll be joined after this.